Well, hello people, and welcome back to part 76 of Orchid Bay, our Vanilla City Skylines build. Hope you're having a wonderful day. We're going to start out today's episode by actually drawing out the new logo of Cougar, which was thought up by Enriable in the comments last episode. So thank you for all suggestions. We kind of joined forces to come up with this logo, which is a pretty decent representation of the Cougar logo. Obviously a play on Puma, or I guess Puma, depending on how you pronounce it. But really cool. Anyway, really nice logo. Thank you for all support on this build last time. That's a... and there is a carnivorous deer waiting for us just at the right moment. Would you look at that? I imagine he's just finished devouring one of the cougars and he's gone. They've become so powerful they've actually evolved to teleport now, the carnivorous deer of Orchid Bay. But in today's episode I want to keep developing this side of the map. I think this area is going to become quite a prestigious, sort of luxurious part of the map. We'll definitely get some houses around here today as well, maybe some mid-century modern stuff, lots of pools and nice palms and whatnot, but this little spot here, just beneath the flight path of the regional airport. So, you know, you imagine you're going to get a lot of executives coming down here, landing here, to then head over to the Cougar Worldwide headquarters. And another prestigious thing that rich people like to do when they're signing brand deals and whatnot is go ahead and play a couple rounds of golf, isn't it? So today we're going to attempt a vanilla golf course, which is something we've never tried before. So let's see how we can get on with this, shall we? So a vanilla golf course has been done before. Of course, have a guess who's done it. But it's always Imperator. So we're going to be taking some of Imperator's ideas, but expanding them with kind of a end-of-life cities one now, because we've got some kind of flags from Bad Peanuts sports venues packed now, so we can do some actual flags on the course. Try and put our own spin on Imperator's design. So, oh, let's not have trees there. So this whole kind of little peninsula is kind of geared up for it, right? So I reckon at some point we're going to have more suburbs off here, so we will start the episode by actually developing a roundabout this system. So let's create a little slope up here from the roundabout. We'll sort of push back a little bit here. A little bit of a wavy road that actually comes up to the golf course. So we'll grab a nice road that we can tree line. I reckon we'll go for the one with the median. So we'll come up our roundabout here. And let's follow this curve in the hill. I reckon as well, because this is a pretty unique build, please feel free to get name suggestions for Orchid Bay's golf course. I'm not at all a golf person, so I don't know if there's any puns we can make with Orchid Bay and golf in general, but please feel free to get it in. Maybe something with Tiger Woods and the whole Cougar dynamic. Maybe there's something in there, I'll let you guys decide. So we'll have a little bit of a tree lining going up to the top here. I think silver birch is the most prestigious of the trees, isn't it? I think it is. We'll have that here. So we'll snake up the hill. And then let's grab this road here. And I'd like to grab the guideline. And we'll create the entrance, which I think is going to sit here. So coming into the car park, I'd certainly like some vanilla car parking, obviously where people can arrive. And let's go here. I also think in today's episode we're also going to do some helicopter stuff as well, because we had a good suggestion last episode that maybe the night campus could have, sorry, the Puma campus could have some helicopter arrival points for athletes and whatnot flying in to sign £40 million brand deals, etc. So we'll definitely get that in today as well. Maybe drop some more helicopter depots around other venues in Orchid Bay where it makes sense. So we'll have some fun with helicopters for the very first time today too. I don't think we've ever really used them that much before, have we? So let's wrap up our car parks here. Cool. And then we will get that road there. Let's complete that silver birch tree line in too. Fantastic. Of course, the most obvious asset to include in a golf course build in Vanilla CS is going to be the driving range, which does come with the After Dark DLC, if you are missing it. Now, it's not going to quite centralise there, but I almost certainly want this road to be centralised. I think what we might actually do here is have the double width road here instead. Yeah, I definitely prefer that road. Cool, so I reckon that's the configuration I'm happy with. Just misalign the grid here so we can centralise the drive club. Have this nice little walking pathway down the middle here too. No, I've just got all our car parking here also. So let's move into the golf course itself. So I reckon we're going to use a combination of different pathways here. So let's actually come in with some amusement park with decoration, and we'll start wrapping up our driving range with this. Bring it down into there. We'll side of the tree, maybe not silver birch everywhere. I think that'll get a little bit over the top, won't it? So maybe let's do some nice roadies. We very rarely see a roadie lined path, do we? Yeah. But the general idea here is to really look at sort of different golf courses across the world. Just googling images of golf courses is a great help. And I want to start sort of chiseling out the hole itself with some dirt pathway. So we'll have this one here as our first hole, for example. Now I know the golf police might come after me for not having the correct amount of holes. They certainly did during Ilos's golf course build, but I'm not massively about having 18. Try and do some more interesting shapes here as well. And I guess once we've done one, we can just go ahead and time-lapse up the rest of them. So we'll map this out and then essentially want to mimic that curvature around the edge of it. So once we have that, this is how I imagine we'll get people traversing the course. Apply this one here. Cool. And then if we come into our park stuff, we can search for flag. Actually, let's do the hole first. So if you're on the PC and you want to do something like this, definitely go ahead and get yourself Surface Painter to be able to do much more interesting things. So we can't create a different shade of green in vanilla, so we're just going to have to grab our flag. So this does come with Bad Peanuts sports venues pack. So we can have our flag there. It's going to give us a little bit of a different ground texture so you can kind of tell where the flag is within the course, right? And then I think just in intermittent places around the hole, we'll have some of the old faithful poor man's surface painter technique, where we have just random arranged dirt paths to sort of represent a little bit of a sand trap, I guess. And then we'll definitely have lots of little custom trees knocking around, lots of oaks through here. Around the edge, just get some pines in as well. So that's the general kind of shape and concept of working with the vanilla golf course here. So start out here, again there's no real tee prop or anything we can put out here. I think what we will do is actually turn the place into a park area, because then we'll actually be able to place park assets on these pathways. So we'll grab ourselves the park gate. Let's just go for regular city park, should be okay. Yeah, we want the main gate here. Push this whole park area basically to fill the golf course. Then we'll also get the side gate here as well. Then we shall get those pathways back in. And then this way we'll just be able to place some nice assets around. Which is really the reason I want the assets, is obviously I'm not really expecting anyone to come and use the toilet in the middle of the course. But it's mainly just to attract Sims to walk around the golf course so it at least looks somewhat active, right? If we have a few gazebos knocking about here. So that's the general consensus of having the vanilla golf course here, and of course we can fill this whole space with it. We'll do these in a time lapse rather than spending all day talking about them, because it's not that interesting to watch. So we'll time lapse with the rest of them. I would love to make a nice sort of eatery area here as well, somewhere where you can come and enjoy the delights of the golf course without having to actually play golf. So let's grab ourselves some of that red pathway, and then we'll combine a info booth on the corner with a cafe on its side. I think we'll have the cafe down this way. There we go, something like that. And then an airport apron here too. Let's go for this one here, and we'll paint out a little bit of concrete wherever we want it. And then we'll go ahead and search for a table, and I reckon these restaurant set tables might be quite nice. Let's use our line tool to line them up. So we go for A little bit closer together than that, maybe 5 meters. Yeah, 5 seems good. Then we'll have our row of tables here, where all the essentially wags of Orchid Bay come here and sip on the finest champagne from Paladin, etc. And then I wouldn't mind some planters here as well. Maybe a few of these fancy ones just to kind of demarcate the restaurant area. Maybe a touch closer than that. Let's go down to 3 for this one. Yeah, let's have a few of these in. We'll have them there. And then I guess also on the back here too. And then I'd also like the fence to kind of wrap this around now so you can kind of see all the rich people enjoying the golf from a fence. So we'll have it form. And so we'll delete that for right now, we don't really need it there just yet. And then we can wrap this around the entire edge of the course and treat that as a bit of an entrance. And I also reckon actually, because we've got the road nearby, so let's just take away that fence. I wouldn't also mind including a couple of tennis courts here as well for the rich and famous of Orchid Bay. We'll have a couple of tennis courts there too, I think. They kind of factor those into that park area as if the tennis courts are actually part of the golf course itself. That kind of general sports and recreation, etc. And then we'll have this one come out here. We'll of course feed the road into the course itself and then have the tennis courts facing into the course, but I think I'm pretty happy with that. It's not too bad at all. And then we'll get some nice trees in here too. Let's do a fancier tree. Do some oaks through this way. Yeah, that's a pretty nice entrance into the course there, isn't it? Very prestigious. We'll see some nice fancy tables at a nice restaurant or a cafe. And then the golf course will spill out behind that. So that's the concept of the vanilla golf course. We'll expand it in the time-lapse. Now I'd like to turn my attention toward an idea from last episode where we said we'd bring in some helicopters around the city. So let's for the first time on the channel really dive into helicopters, which we've never really done before. I don't know if I'm misremembering, I often do, on whether or not we've used helicopters properly before. I don't think we have. Maybe once or twice in ILOS, but I think besides that, not really. So we're going to have one in the Cougar World headquarters over this way. Now, I reckon also the Athletes Village over by the downtown would be a good place for one of these things as well. Why don't we find a spot for it? Maybe here. Nearby toward the baseball stadiums might be pretty cool. Don't think there's room for it over here, is there really? No. We'll have it here then. So we'll have one there. And where else would be a good spot for a helicopter depot? How about over by the Morwen Sports Stadium over this way? Yeah. I think we'll have it here. It does, however, want to be pedestrianised, which is fine. We will just push a pedestrian zone over it. Athletes can fly directly into the stadium over this way. Having one here might be pretty cool as well. Kind of close by to the Orchid United Stadium. How do we feel about actually having this here though? Because this green belt is here for a reason. It's like a kind of pristine, very well kept space before the towers is the vibe here. So having a helicopter come in might be a little bit intrusive, but it would be pretty cool having like a direct walking path over here to get back on the helicopters. It will also kind of help us prove as well just how powerful helicopters are as a public transport method, because there's metro through here, which is actually insanely quiet. Is anyone even using this? One person. And that metro line is dead, isn't it? Really quiet. I mean, I guess it's got buses and trams nearby it as well, so I guess that sort of makes sense. What about this one? 11, yeah. Yeah, this inner city metro is really quiet, isn't it? I think everyone else is using the trains to get around Orchid Bay. Train, overground, metro, monorail seem to take the bulk of the weight. Anyway, that's getting distracted. So we'll move that there. I think we will have it in there. And then where else would possibly be good for a helicopter depot? Or a helicopter stop, rather. I'm keen to also kind of stress it as a viable method of public transport, so in and around intercity connections is where I'd like to have them. So why don't we have one here, over by the sort of arrivals terminal. We'll have a helicopter stop there. And then I think that's as far as I want to take it. Maybe do them by the Volkswagen factory as well, or Volkswagen factory, sorry. But we could also do one by Imperator's Air Force Base as well. He does actually have the helicopter depot here, doesn't he? Yeah, he does. So a stop here would make sense. Why don't we have it... He must have left some room somewhere. If not, we can just slightly amend it. Why don't we have it... It's over by the airfield. Let's just remove a couple of these little areas here. And we'll have a stop there as well. Just recorrect his pathwork. It's always so much fun having one of Imperator's builds in the city. Really love this Air Force base he did for us. Cool. I reckon that'll do it. Maybe one more over here. I guess by the naval yard would probably be a good shot for one as well, wouldn't it? So let's have that there. Wicked. Cool. So now let's grab our helicopter pathways, and I guess we'll just time-lapse all these up so they connect with each other. And we did add in... Yeah, we've also got another helicopter depot here as well. So let's get all of these connected in with each other. Cool, so that is now a huge pink ring that now spans pretty much across the entire city. It kind of encompasses everything, doesn't it? So let's get the lines set up now. I believe they're over here, aren't they? Yeah, helicopter line. So let's get them flowing. I'm wondering, how does the do a create line here? Just drop it off at the next one. Yeah, they kind of function like ferries, don't they? Okay, that's fine. Awesome. So let's go way over by the Puma World Headquarters. Sorry, Cougar World Headquarters. And we'll see just how many people use it. I've totally realised as well that people are using public transport here to fly into very sensitive sites, so you'll have to suspend a little bit of disbelief, I think. So we'll see how they get on. Look at that. It's absolutely swarm. Like Apocalypse Now, isn't it? Look at that. This is how it starts. Just stacked on top of each other. Yeah, I can probably see why we've never used public transport now. Not these helicopters. Anyway, we'll let them sort of unstack. Then we'll see how many people use them. So here it comes into land, and the AI is now picking it up as a potential option in and out of the campus. So let's pretend these are athletes. Gonna get on. Oh, I didn't realise the rotor blades actually stopped when people boarded. I appreciate that. But I guess that's kind of appreciating the wheels also stopping turning on a bus when it pulls over at a stop, isn't it, Sam? Because you can't really you can't really appreciate that. Should we follow it? I reckon we should, right? Enjoy a little flyover of Orchid Bay. If it ever takes off. Yes, here we go. It should be a pretty cool, if not slightly nauseating view. A bit low to the ground, isn't he? However, has to be said, I do appreciate the aesthetic of these little private-looking helicopters now flying over the campus. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So here we go. Let's have a little fly over to Michael's Mall and Sport, I guess is the next stop on the journey, isn't it? I thought they'd be a little higher off the ground. He's about the same height as one of the boreal spruces. Really low. Yeah, I thought they'd be much higher off the ground than that. It's almost like... Yeah, it looks like they're set to be a certain amount of distance above the terrain, does it? Unless they get higher if they have a much higher distance to go, I'm not sure. Oh my god. Oh my god. What the hell is that? No. No. That's too many people. That's too many people trying to use the helicopters. I guess it is a match day by the looks of it. That's so many. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. This is so stupid. Use the bus stop. There's a bus station down there, you idiots. Oh man, is that going to cause issues? I mean, it is a match day, I guess. It's just there's a lot of athletes getting private helicopter access back at the match. What's like the entire team, actually. Around for the just like, you know, the club executives, as you would expect. Cool, so we'll enjoy a ride over to the peninsula over here. We're going to fly across Sharon as well. Yeah, it looks like they're set to be a certain amount of height above the terrain, doesn't it? Dangerously close to that tower block there. Oh, it's nice seeing the city from this slight bird's eye perspective, isn't it? Seeing all the people mooch about. It's quite enjoyable. Coming into Lotus over here now too. We've got a little bit of space here to fill as well. Gonna come over. Flying over the Lotus campus is very nice. I feel like if you haven't seen our live stream VOD as well, we did a lot of building down here. That's on the live tab if you want to go check it out. Oh, what? What the hell is happening here as well? Is this just like the big... So, secretly, helicopters are the best form of public transport in the city, as it turns out. The AI will flock to them by the thousands, rather than, you know, just taking a monorail. Which, sure, probably isn't quicker, but will hold a lot more people. We'd be waiting a lot less time in line to get on the monorail. What a really nice view across Orchid Bay. Fly along the coastline here. Fly right down the coastline to the city, actually. Going over the boats here, coming out of Sharon Fishing Marina. So, like, the monorail's faster, isn't it? There you go, there's a nice comparison for you. The monorail and the train are both quicker than the helicopter. Which is a bit weird. I thought helicopters would be quicker than a monorail would be. Maybe not a train. Trains are pretty rapid, aren't they? But certainly with the helicopter, at least. Oh, see the train police headquarters there as well? He's a little close to these, isn't he? He's a little close, maybe. But what a wonderful way to enjoy the city, right? I'm absolutely dreading how many people are going to be in the downtown stop. Of course, this is one of the busiest places, isn't it? So a really nice pass over by all the layers here too, coming into downtown Orchid Bay, that couple system. Flawless traffic as well. Good to see this whole design held up, isn't it? This is the best bit of the episode, isn't it? Oh my god. Oh dear. That is really, really cutting it fine, isn't it? Balls of steel on that pilot. We'll come down again. Please don't be absolutely rammed. It's rammed, isn't it? It's rammed. Yes, it is. It is rammed. Okay, I guess this is just Orchid Bay's public transport system now. How many do these helicopters hold? I feel like we almost need to go get like a Chinook off the workshop or something. 20 people. 96. Let's have a look at the line details. There's 230 people waiting. Okay. Okay. Well, it's sent more people through the stadium metro station anyway, so I guess maybe it could be a good thing. I guess if there's just been a match day, maybe it's maybe that's why. Maybe it's just the match days. I think by the looks of it, there's a lot of people walking through the inner city here, as if they've just come out of the stadium. So I guess that's why. But yeah, they're all getting off the tram as well. They're all walking to the helicopter stop, aren't they? Vast majority of them, it would seem, yes. But it's making the metro busier, I guess, so can't really complain. In there by the hordes, they can't wait to get on. Yeah, so I'm hoping that's just a symptom of a match day. I guess we'll find out. This one's much quieter. I guess it's not near a stadium, is it? Or a major public transport centre, like on the pier. That backlog looks like it has cleared a tiny bit as well. Anyway, that was definitely worth it, wasn't it? It really was. But either way, just feel like a good point for some detailing now to go ahead and finish off the golf course. Over here, using the same designs and trees and some more props and lots of fun. So let's detail up the Orchid Bay golf course, and we'll be right back. Okay guys, let's have a little detailed review, shall we, of definitely one of the most unique builds in Orchid Bay, and definitely on the channel. This was a ton of fun to build. If you're looking for a swift way to kill a lot of nodes, I absolutely recommend doing a vanilla golf course. So we'll come down to the front where we have added in a park maintenance building with a little bit of airport apron as well, just to extend this yard that's on the side of the building. And the entire golf course is wrapped up with park fence. And we've also got a golf course here as well for any executives that would prefer to land directly at the golf course from the airport once they arrive in Orchid Bay. And arriving up into the facility itself, the park gates now feed off into the course around the driving range, where we do also have a little eatery area with some info booths, cafes and toilets and whatnot. Also a little kids playground as well, should anyone be attending with children. And that really cool view from here, actually seeing the people in the driving range itself, kind of within the mountains of Orchid Bay, and you can see the golf course through the netting. Really cool, just, yeah, really happy with it. It's super unique. We'll get a bird's eye view of all the courses. It is a 9-hole course, which I believe the golf police should be okay with that. I think they should. I also added in a water trap using the tip that we did last episode of the sunken water outlet. And rather than using a pump this time to keep the kind of fountain feature flowing, it now just flows down into the river of Orchid Bay over the road that is actually now connected in with this section over here. So this should all help to alleviate pressure off these junctions down this way. And the road under the runway is now finally hooked in. We did this in like what, episode 7 or 8 or something, when we built the Fields of Golden and the regional airport. No, maybe it's a bit later than that, I think, wasn't it, the regional airport maybe? But anyway, it is now finally hooked in, and it comes across out of here with an asymmetrical road into a junction. So we're starting to see more infrastructure and networks now establish themselves out this way, which is really nice. We'll definitely get some more luxurious housing and different builds around these foothills. It's a really unique landscape to play with, and especially now we've got the golf course over here. It really adds a kind of sense of prestige, doesn't it? Especially with that helicopter flying overhead there. Perfect timing. Really nice to see the chopper kind of flying back out, right? Looks very sort of executive, doesn't it? But then, yeah, the courses flow. We got our little flags at the end of each of them. There's different sort of shaped sand traps around all of them as well. Unfortunately, we're not getting a vast amount of people actually walking down to the gazebos. A lot of them are just choosing to hang out near the main entrance over here, which is a little bit of a shame. It would have been nice to see them maybe come out this way. But maybe that'll just come with time as more and more people begin to arrive at Orchid Bay Golf Course, which, don't forget, we do need names for down below. So please feel free to comment those as well. And then our helicopter stops are pretty busy. The choppers are starting to clear a bit of the backlog, but there's always at least some people waiting for a chopper. With the stadium stops definitely being a little busier than the other ones. I guess this is a good example, right? If we can see the split of passengers here, it's still the majority is taking the intercity routes out of town here via the bus station, but there's a good chunk of them turning up at the helicopters to leave the game. So just something we'll have to deal with, but I think it's pretty funny to see, isn't it? And now this one over here as well. It's still really busy, so we could definitely add more choppers into Orchid Bay's lines, but I don't want the skies to become overwhelmed with helicopters, so don't add too many in. But yeah, definitely when there's match days on, you can just see them. They're just pissing out of the stadium down these pathways. But it has incidentally forced this metro to get a little more use, so I can't really complain at that. It has sort of fixed that problem we had when we were over here at the first time of setting all that up. And it's a super unique landscape, and what a view it has across the entire city, especially if you stood on the top level of that driving range. But otherwise, guys, that is going to do it for today. Let's thank you all so much for watching. If you've enjoyed it, likes, comments and shares below really help grow the channel. Equally as much if you've hated every second of today, please leave me a dislike as well. An enormous shout out to the patrons that support the channel, with a special roll call to Felix Wilkinson. Thank you for being patrons, guys, and continuing to support all the Cities 1 content. You're all a secret blend of 11 herbs and spices. Super unique build today, as I mentioned at the start of the detailed review. Definitely my favourite build in Orchid Bay, I think, now, and there's so many to choose from. You can see that sprawl across here, so really fun to be playing this part of the city. We have used a fair few nodes today. Node count is hovering around 85%, but there are still pipes under the very beginning of the city because we didn't have 81 tiles initially installed for no water pipe function when we started the build, so we will be able to recover a couple hundred to maybe 1,000 nodes or so. So not time to panic with the node count yet, but today's build has certainly eaten into it. There's a lot of nodes in this build, but a tremendously fun one either way. There was a video up on the channel yesterday on the Sunday of 5 city builders you haven't heard of, so if you want to go check that out, it's a little bit of a different editing style, not something we're really used to on the channel, but it was a ton of fun to make, so go check it out if you haven't already. I hope you enjoyed it if you did end up watching it, but otherwise I'm rambling, so I'll shut up and leave it there. Please do enjoy today's cinematics, but I'd like to thank you all so much for watching, and as always, enjoy the rest of your day.